What's up, everybody? You're tuned in to the Cris Style
Ammo.
Podcast, episode 263, Takeover Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good night, whatever you're doing. You're at home, you're at work. Appreciate y'all tapping into the live stream. If you're listening on the playback, we appreciate you too. Leave a comment in the comment section. Got a few things to speak on, some NBA news, some WNBA stuff too. Brandon Sorsby has decided to forego his college senior year and go into the supplemental draft. We're going to talk about what places he could possibly go. Also, we're going to give our top 10 fantasy wide receivers and, of course, Miles random news. Also, I got a clip I want to play from Colin Cowherd, his top 10 NBA players that he would build a team around in the next 5 years. Before we get into that, Mal, how you feeling, sir?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Excited to talk about these topics, my brother. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Can't complain. I'm really good. So let's go ahead and get into it. NBA news, man. What you got for me?
NBA news. We got a couple things going on. We have some stuff going on with Walker Kessler with the Jazz. Walker Kessler, he's been one of the key guys who's on a restricted free agent for the Jazz. There's a couple teams that have been eyeing him, including my Lakers. But it seems like there could be a little bit of turmoil with him. Seems like they're not close to a deal. Besides, despite the $140 million offer, there have been reports saying that Walker Kessler wasn't really a fan of certain situations that have been having with the Jazz. What's your overall thoughts with Walker Kessler, man? Could you potentially see another team swooping in and getting Walker Kessler for free agency?
I mean, there's a possibility. I mean, how high is he on the Lakers' radar?
He would be probably number one as far as like center wise.
Who are some other teams that are thinking about looking at him?
What I think honestly is that it's going to be interesting to see what the Jazz do. I know they've been kind of hard pinned on trying to keep him, but at the same instance, his name has been floated around numerous times as far as like a potential trade candidate. People were kind of wondering, especially with the whole situation when they traded for Jaren Jackson Jr., what that would mean for Walker Kessler Jr. or Lauri Markkanen. You would assume they will probably keep Lauri with the talent that he is. I know Walker Kessler is a highly sought out center. He would definitely be number one on the Lakers list to pair up with Luka Doncic and potentially Austin Reeves. But the Utah Jazz have been kind of like just hard stint on what they wanted. Kind of unreasonable pricing for trades and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting. I'm still not going to get my hopes up that the Lakers can do it. I think it could be a situation where I could see them maybe giving them the top offer sheet max money, which I think is like around 180 or something. I think that's the most they can match, or 160, something like that. I could see them doing that, but at the end of the day, I think the Jazz will ultimately match that offer. I think they have like up to like 72 hours or something like that to match that offer. So I think it's going to be a situation like that. Walker Kessler, I think I did see something where he came out and he kind of said that he loves being in Utah and all that stuff. I don't take anything. I take all that with a grain of salt. We see that all the time, and then 2 weeks later, they're gone. So it could be a situation like that. That's what I see. Next up, Marcus Spears. He made some comments about LeBron James. Seems like he hinted that signs are pointing that LeBron James would be most likely signing back with the Lakers. He kind of questioned what the new leadership and ownership, what that number would be. I would be very curious to see what that number is. Everybody knows my stance on the whole situation with LeBron James. I'm ready for him to move on to new endeavors. I'm ready for my team, my Lakers, to move on and build around Luka and AR or who else could potentially be around Luka Doncic. We all know Luka Doncic is the key figure that we're building around. But he also hinted that LeBron potentially signing. He also hinted that Kevin Love would most likely be signing. And look, man, I'm not gonna go on this long spiel, but I'm gonna let Cris, give his opinion about this whole situation. if that were to happen, like I'm already on this. I'm already at the end where I want to fire Rob Pelinka. And it's like I truly understand at the point that, you know, rumors are rumors, and most of the time, rumors have not been true with the Lakers, especially with Rob Pelinka. No one knew the whole Luka Doncic situation. There have been certain situations where the Lakers, you know, have been rumored to do things, but they went about it another way. I do understand that, but I will say this: it's been a thing with Rob Pelinka and the Lakers organization where they've been kicking this can down the road the last, you know, couple years, and I'm honestly tired of it. It's kind of like the situation, very different in aspects, but with the Philadelphia 76ers, you know, kind of tanking every year and, you know, doing the whole trust the process bullshit. Like I'm at the point right now where if Rob Pelinka and this Lakers organization chooses to go down the road where we resign everybody that was on this team last year, sign LeBron James, give Austin Reeves a max contract, and then you bring in Kevin Love after you literally just said in your exit interview that we need to get younger, more depth, more athletic. That does not scream that. LeBron James does not scream that. Kevin Love for sure doesn't scream that. And Austin Reeves don't scream that. Like, we saw what was in the finals. We saw the San Antonio Spurs and we saw the New York Knicks. We saw the athletic ability. We saw the toughness. We saw the switchability that these teams were able to do. We saw it with the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. We've seen it with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, I don't understand what the fuck goes on through these people's minds if that is the case that they want to do. You are setting the Lakers organization up for failure again for another year. What will be the purpose of us watching the Lakers besides if you're a LeBron fan and you want to see the retirement tour? What is the process? Tell me when LeBron James has been a winning fucking basketball player. I don't care about the little 15-game win streak that or whatever we went through in March. I don't care about that. I care about what we've seen in the playoffs. And yeah, we did beat a Houston Rockets team that was highly overrated. We clearly see clear as day they were highly overrated. And then we did have instances where we were competing with the Oklahoma City Thunder, but we can never get over the hump. It comes to a situation, is LeBron James worth the headache? So we're going to sign LeBron James and then bring his 38-year-old friend who averaged 6 points, shot less than 40% from three-point, and you're going to tell me that's going to be the solution? And bringing back Rui Hachimura and bringing back DeAndre Ayton and bringing back Austin Reeves. You think that's going to be the winning solution? This is the same repetitive thing we've been doing for the last 3 years, bringing back the same fucking team that does not match up, who's going to be a year older. We don't develop young talent. Like, what are we doing? So that's just how I feel. What's your opinion about LeBron James and potentially Kevin Love, you know, joining my Lakers squad?
I just don't know what LeBron's infatuation of bringing these old dudes. Like, I don't get that. Like, Kevin Love hasn't been relevant in years, and that's the guy you want to bring with you.
Yeah.
Why? Because you could have somebody to talk to. Yeah. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, I personally think the LeBron experiment with the Lakers should be done. That's just my opinion. I just think you got your title with him. Go back to Cleveland. If you want Kevin Love so bad, let him go. Let him play with you in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get the Kevin Love thing. Like, the only Kevin you should be trying to get to the Lakers is maybe Kevin Durant. Outside of that,
yeah, dog. I don't know. I'm not gonna get worked up over it. I'll wait until free agency, and then I'm sure you guys will either get a 2-minute "I'm happy as hell" or a 20-minute rant that will be the end of my show for that thing. And last but not least, for NBA news, we got some surprising news with Trae Young. Trae Young will decline his option and will become a free agent on Monday. The report did come out earlier today. You know, there have been situations with Trae Young where there have been rumors with Miami Heat that he could be potentially a backup plan if they don't get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, there have been rumors about Darren. Obviously, you had the whole report with Darren Peterson, you know, visiting the Washington Wizards and assuming that he would be the number one pick. I clearly stated that I obviously thought it was AJ Dubasa. But I would say this honestly did surprise me, especially with the amount of money that he's willing to let go and put himself on the market. Obviously, I think Trae Young and the way people view him is a little bit different. I still think a lot of people are really harsh on Trae Young, even though I think Trae Young is an amazing player. I think he's a great offensive player. You've seen him be able to, he's performed in big stages as far as like in the playoffs and stuff like that. Getting his team to, I believe he got him to the Eastern Conference Finals one time or second round or something like that. I would say this, it does leave an intriguing situation. I did hear some things that, I think the Wizards are still the favorites to sign him. A lot of people kind of suggested that, if he opted back in with his player option, it would be more to facilitate a trade. But I think it leaves the Wizards with a lot of options. I think they could potentially do a situation where they could potentially trade back if they don't get Trae Young and they like Darren Peterson maybe just a little bit more. Maybe, with them meeting Darren Peterson, maybe they've had kind of like a change of heart with AJ Dubasa. I would be shocked if that was the case. I'm still picking AJ. But if Trae Young is gone, maybe it could be a situation where they're like, hey, Darren Peterson, we believe he's on the same level as AJ. We already have Anthony Davis. We already kind of have our wings kind of set that we truly believe in. Let's bring in Darren Peterson. You know what I mean? He wants to be a point guard. We can have a point guard of, he could be, fill in the place for Trae Young. We think he'll be a better asset and better development for him. We could trade back one spot because, we all know how much Utah wants AJ, and we know how much AJ would like to go to Utah. You know what I mean? I think that's the whole reason why he was in BYU. He loved BYU. He loves that community. So why not trade back, get some more assets for that pick, and then you can still pick Darren Peterson at number 2. Utah can have, AJ, and then they can kind of, go from there. So it could be a situation like that. He could sign back with the Wizards, and they could still get AJ. But overall, man, what's your opinions with Trae Young potentially, obviously him opting out and potentially, and obviously him being a free agent?
Honestly, I think this is a win-win situation for both parties. I mean, you get the young player that you want in the draft, whether it be AJ or if it is Darren Peterson. I know you have your gripes about Darren Peterson, but we know the talent he is, and you definitely, if you want to get younger, and go with the younger, cheaper talent, you would go with Darren Peterson. And you could build around him. And I guess AD, I know AD has his injury history, but like you said, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to replace him with a top tier talent in Darren Peterson. And I think he has a little bit more upside defensively on the defensive end than Trae Young. You know what I'm saying? Trae Young may be the better scorer at this point in his career over Darren Peterson, but I think Darren Peterson is probably a better two-way player. So maybe the Wizards are thinking in that motion too. So, and then Trae Young, he can kind of pick his litter. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go play for a contending team, go play for a contending team. You know what I'm saying? And try to get a championship. Maybe he goes to the Heat or Orlando or somebody like that.
Yeah,
so maybe I don't know what I know you have your gripes with Austin Reeves, but if y'all do get rid of Austin Reeves, maybe Trae Young will go to the Lakers, or maybe he goes to the Clippers. I don't know, but maybe he goes to Houston with Kevin Durant because they need a point guard.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I think it's a win-win situation for both sides.
No, yeah, for sure. I think there will be teams that would be interested in Trae Young's services. It'll be kind of interesting to see who would be out there for that. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I think things will start heating up a little bit more as the days come going into next week. Obviously, with the NBA draft starting, I think next Tuesday, I believe. We're all kind of expecting, a Giannis Antetokounmpo situation, even though Chris Haynes did come out, which was very irritating that I saw this. He did come out and say that the Giannis situation could be a little bit longer, past, NBA draft. It could go into, July. So that would be a little bit annoying. And I think that would kind of, stall out free agency. obviously he's the big domino waiting to fall. So that would be a little bit annoying, but that's just me. But we'll see what happens, man. Going forward, man. So
I'm sick of this.
I'm sick of him. I ain't gonna lie, I'm sick of it. So there is even rumors that he potentially could just stay with the Bucks. So it's a whole bunch of stuff. I love it, man.
To be honest, I hope he lose every game next year if he stays with the Bucks.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, man. Let's talk about it. Brendan Sorsby. Last time we talked, he was talking about getting a 2-game suspension because the judge, said that he was eligible to come back to Texas Tech and play, and he only had to serve a 2-game suspension, and he could play the rest of the season. But there was a lot of commotion from other teams talking about boycotting and suing and all kinds of extra stuff. So personally, I think Brendan Sorsby in Texas Tech was like, look, man, this is more than we want to chew on right now. So let's just go ahead and part ways. You go to the NFL. I'm sure his agent probably told him, hey, man, look, there's some teams lined up that want to draft you, man. You have buzz. If you were to have gone in this draft, you would have been a first round or second round pick. So let's just go ahead and just fill out this application for the supplemental draft, and let's just go to a team, and you could just, you might be playing or you might develop. You know what I'm saying? You can sit for a little bit and possibly develop and be a starting quarterback for an NFL team. So, and you'll get ahead of the curve of the 2027 draft. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think his agent and his team around him was just like, man, let's just cut all this because you're about to answer questions all season about this. It's gonna be a distraction for Texas Tech, and we don't want all that. You know what I'm saying? So let's just go ahead and fill out this application and go to the NFL. So, with that being said, I got a 2-part question. Okay. First question is, do you think that he's going to serve a suspension in the NFL? And 2, what teams should be lined up for Brendan Sorsby, and what pick should they be putting in for his services?
As far as like him getting a suspension, I would assume he would, honestly, because it's a sticky situation for the NFL. He did admit to doing what he did, and that I think it's commemorable for him to be at least honest with the whole situation. It didn't seem like he, hid anything. He was very honest about how many bets he's made. It wasn't acting like he was lying or anything like that. So you got to commend him for that. It was a dumb decision on his part. But I would assume that the NFL would suspend him. It's not like he's going to play next year anyway, even if they do the supplemental draft or anything like that. I know that I think they still got to get approval for that. For that even to go down. So I honestly think he'll probably get a suspension. I could see a situation in this light where he probably gets suspended for like 12 games. I could see something like that. He'd get suspended for the majority of the season. But I think they would still allow him to, maybe be a part of the team as far as like after the suspension. I can honestly even see a whole year suspension. Like, you will draft him, but he will not be able to, be in the building. He may not be able to, do anything of those. So yes, you can select him, but there will be a punishment with that where it would still be in a situation where you're not going to get this level up where you're going to be able to have him in your facility and train him up and him be on the practice field or anything like that. You're going to have to wait a whole year until the new league year starts or until after the Super Bowl. And then you can bring him in the building and he can have the same capacity as far as like what the other rookies would be able to do. Now he'll have a little bit of a leg up because he'll still know which team he'll be on. And, obviously, all the young men that will be coming out next year, they still have to go through the whole process of, combines and workouts and obviously getting drafted in April. So at least he'll be ahead of that. But I definitely think we'll get some suspension in that capacity just because of the situation that it is and him betting on his own team. As far as like teams that should be able to do it, I think it could be a wide range of teams, honestly. I could see a situation with the Atlanta Falcons. Seeing that situation is just, if you're Atlanta Falcons fans, you can't be pleased with some of the reports you're hearing about that quarterback situation. So it's not looking good. I can see that. You definitely can see the Cleveland Browns situation. It doesn't seem like they're, committed to Shedeur Sanders and at all at this point. You know what I mean? I think we can all just see the writing on the wall. So I can see them in that capacity, especially with some of the extra draft capital that they did get from the Myles Garrett trade. I could see the New York Jets. I could see the Carolina Panthers. I could see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I could see the Pittsburgh Steelers. Honestly, can even see the Minnesota Vikings. I could see the Arizona Cardinals. I could see the Philadelphia Eagles. I could see the Baltimore Ravens. I could see sleeper. I think I could probably sleeper wise, I would probably say the Detroit Lions. I personally might think the Detroit Lions. You know what I mean? Just because in the sense, like, I think Jared Goff is a hell of a quarterback, but it gets to the point of, we've seen in multiple facets that, he was able to get to the Super Bowl, but he looked terrible in that Super Bowl. There's been a couple playoff runs where he just got outperformed. You got the Washington Commanders game where they got dominated against, the Commanders. And I get it, their defense was hurt that year, but that offense was so good that I think they should have found a way to win that game. Then obviously, you had the whole situation last year where, hell, they didn't even make the playoffs last year, did they? So I think it's a slew. I'm talking about the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah, they didn't make the playoffs.
They didn't make the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised in that instance as well. As far as like the draft capital, it just depends on how much you believe in the kid. Like, I think he's an ultra talented quarterback. I think he could throw at all levels. He definitely has the arm strength. He's definitely has the size. So it just depends. Like, if you're really confident and you believe he's a first round caliber quarterback and you don't want to risk anybody having an opportunity to get him, then put in the first round pick. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen it before. But I personally think it'll probably be a situation, especially with the caliber, degree, and what everything's going on, and just kind of like he's gonna have that stigma around him. I would probably think it would probably be like more closer to like a third or a fourth round pick, just for, those are still quality picks where you can still get quality players. But for a quarterback of that magnitude, I think a third or a fourth would probably justify it, just based off of, you got to go in with the questions of him, having, the capability of betting on his own team. So you're always going to have that scrutiny with him. And we got to see how he's going to be able to respond from all the scrutiny that he will get. So it's going to be a lot of noise around him for the foreseeable future, especially, if they do the supplemental draft and he does get drafted.
Yeah, for sure. It is going to be interesting to see if the league does suspend him this year. I know Kayshon Boutte, he had an incident where he got caught gambling at LSU. I don't know if it was as strenuous as this, but he did get caught betting at LSU, and they didn't suspend him for whatever reason. I guess because he did it in college. I don't know. But, we'll see. I mean, regardless, it depends on where he goes, you know what I'm saying? Because he might play, but if he's, he'll probably, if he doesn't get suspended, if he's like with the Jets, that he might have to play. He might have to play.
I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't do it, but with the Jets, you never know. I agree. With the Jets, you never know. They might just say.
Well, that's in like with the Browns, they got like 7 quarterbacks over there, so yeah, he ain't playing with the Browns. He wouldn't play this season.
No.
Pittsburgh too. I think that even
you got Aaron Rodgers, so yeah, you're good.
You got Will Howard. Then you drafted Drew Aller.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which then you think about Arizona. They got Brissett, Minshew, and then they got Carson Beck. Like, that's a mess. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you. I can see teams like a Detroit who want their quarterback of the future, possibly draft, put in a claim for him. I know that there's some strenuous talk between Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay. and his extension. So maybe they say we'll put a claim in for this kid, let him sit behind Baker for 1 year, and then let Baker walk. You know, he can go somewhere else, and then we'll just put this kid in there. Well, we already got the weapons around him. Let's just go from there. You know, so it could be a situation like that. Philadelphia, we don't know how much of that clock on Jalen Hurts they got. You know what I'm saying? So they might put that claim in and just say, "Hey, Jalen, if you don't look good this year, we got this kid waiting in the rings for us." So it definitely is going to be interesting to see what teams put in claims for him and who ultimately getting how high they put the claim in. You know what I'm saying? Because there's already reports and people talking about second round pick, first round pick, third round pick. So this is probably going to be one of the higher drafted supplemental draftees in a long time, because most times these guys are fifth, sixth, seventh round, claims or whatever. But I'm pretty for sure people are like, because there's already been reports of people calling his agent, calling his head coach at Texas Tech and Cincinnati, just to get the lowdown on him and see what he's about. And so I'm pretty for sure that there's going to be some teams that put in a high waiver claim for him to try to get him.
Do you think the Rams are currently kicking themselves for drafting Todd Simpson?
No, because it's not guaranteed that they would get Brendan Sorsby. It's not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Like they're way down on the totem pole. Like there's teams ahead of them that would get him before they even get to the Rams. So yeah, I think that they're fine with, even though I don't agree with the pick, but I think they're like, we did the right thing. We at least was in position to get the quarterback that we wanted. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
All right, man. We're gonna take a quick commercial break and then we'll be right back.
Introduce yourself to Magnet, the ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. It's power-packed electrolytes and rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors, because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement, whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, use promo code Cris and Mal to get $5 off your purchase. So don't wait. Again, that promo code is Cris and Mal to get $5 off your purchase. Get Magnet, push your limits, fuel your passion.
Shout out to Magnet Sports Drink. All right, man, let's talk a little WNBA. It was a report saying, Mom, that next season that the girls will be going from 44 games to 50 games. So they will be expanding the number of games since they are expanding the teams. How you feel about this? Do you like that they're going to get more games? Do you hate it? How you feeling?
I think it was. We all knew it was going to happen. Like, you're going to pay these girls more. You're going to have them work more. That's the whole situation. Like, at the end of the day, this WNBA, they're going to be in the same situation where they're going to be playing 82 games. Like, I don't know when that's going to happen. Could be like 10 years from now, or whatever the case may be. But eventually that will be the end goal. They're going to be playing the same amount as the male counterparts, with expansion and growth and of this league. These ladies are going to have to play a whole lot more. Now, obviously, I've been seeing some videos of Sophia Cunningham and Becky Hammond and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like they're too happy about it in a sense, but I don't want to hear no complaining. You ladies asked for this bread, which I'm super happy that you ladies got that, but you thought you were just gonna play 40-some games for the foreseeable future. Nah, son, that ain't happening. With more teams being added, with more revenue being sought out for, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like so it's gonna go up to 50, which I don't think is that bad. I think it's very doable. Like you'll be okay. I they're talking about like, I think I saw Becky Hammond where she was like asking like maybe they could think about, adding more roster spots. I'm like, y'all don't need that. Y'all don't need that. Like at the end of the day, y'all gonna have to adapt. Y'all gonna have to get ready. Like, look, I've been one of the biggest supporters of the WNBA. I love the WNBA, but stuff like this is what gets annoying to me. Y'all can't sit there and ask for all this bread, which y'all rightfully deserve, but then go ahead and start kind of complaining about certain situations or making little comments that is like you guys don't want to, you ladies don't want to do that. And it's just not gonna work. It's just not what it is. Like they're gonna find ways to turn this league into the NBA. They want their money back and then some for all the years that they supported this league, and this month and the league was not making money for a lot of the owners that have been investing in this league. So I don't see the surprise. I don't understand, some of the, I guess, irritation of this, you know what I mean? And some of the ladies that seem like they're not too pleased about it, but it's going to happen. And they need to realize that, in the next 4 years or 5 years, don't be surprised if it jumps up to 60 games. You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree, man. You thought that y'all was going to get more pay and more teams are going to get added and they're going to add more games. Like, that's the nature of the game. That's the nature of the business. And every league, they add more revenue when they add more teams, they add more games. The NFL, the NBA, the MLB, every league has gotten added some games. So y'all no different. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all can't complain about it, getting more games. It's not like they say, "Oh, y'all playing 75 more games." Like it's 50. Like
it's 50.
Like
it's extra. What? Well, yeah. What do they play? What do they play now? Like 40 something.
44.
So they added 6 more games.
Yeah,
y'all be all right. So, y'all need extra roster spots? No, y'all be fine. Figure out how to play KB, Becky. Sorry, figure it out, or stop cutting good players. You know what I mean? So you don't have to play Asia Wilson 35 plus minutes a game. You know what I mean? So that's all I gotta say about that.
But yeah, but it's more as fans. It's a good thing for us. We get to see more basketball games, and it'll raise the stakes and everything in the game and stuff. Next year. So, like I said, it's gonna be new team added like the next 3 or 4 years. You got Houston Comets, which pretty much the Sun is already here, but they just transferred over to Houston. You got the Detroit Shock coming back.
Detroit Shock. You got the Houston team.
And then Cleveland, I think, is coming back.
Cleveland's coming. So, and then they're going to add more teams. So, you know what I mean? I don't want to become a situation where, they get 50 games and then we're going to start seeing load management with players. Like we start seeing that, I'm like, y'all going to turn a lot of people off quick. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Y'all better train y'all bodies ready. Get ready for it.
Yeah, for sure. Asia Wilson is leading all players and votes for the All-Star game right now. She is the top player. Your favorite, Caitlin Clark, is in 5th place. How are you feeling about that, sir?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why Caitlin Clark is. I know why, because she's a fan favorite, and I'm sure a lot of that is with fan voting. But reality is, is she an all-star player this year? I'm gonna say no. I don't think she is, but I'm sure she's gonna be on the team. But overall, man, Asia Wilson, she deserves it. If Olivia Miles is not number 2, I would be shocked. She should easily be number 2 for me as far as like votability. Yeah, she had 24 in the first half, so she's killing it. So she should easily.
Respectfully, my bad, dog. Brianna Stewart.
You're good.
I got a pick for you, girl.
Why?
I needed how many points I needed? I needed 21 points. She had 15 in the first half. Guess how many points she scored, Mom?
15.
17.
Hey, man.
17 points. How the hell you just scored 17?
Maybe they didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? Even though they did, because Sabrina Ionescu needed it. He hit a game-winning shot. So yeah, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? NBA basketball be kind of like that, dog. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
And then why y'all got William Hill? Why y'all got what's your name on there? Kelsey Plum. You know she wasn't playing.
They trying to sneak one on y'all. That's what they're trying to sneak one on y'all. Let's see how many motherfuckers bet this shit. Oh, damn well they ain't watching this fucking game. Let me take Kelsey. Let me take Kelsey, bro. Let me take Kelsey.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Have you seen the stuff with Cameron Brink?
What about
she got hurt again, and she's gonna be out for a while again.
What happened?
She hurt her ankle and stuff. I think I would not be surprised if Cameron Brink becomes a trade candidate. I would not be surprised. Honestly. Yeah. I just think ever since the knee injury and the start of the season where I think her head coach wasn't really happy with some of her performances and calling her out publicly. This doesn't seem like it's been going her way. Now they could be a little bit patient. We all know that first year back, you know, it takes a little bit of minute for players to kind of get their groove back. Usually it's the second year off of ACL to a knee injury, pretty much. Usually they seem like they get back to their normal selves. I would say this though, if Cameron Brink is available, like Aces, like, you know, trade KBS and rehab her up. You know what I mean? I would love to see Cameron Brink pair up with Asia Wilson. I think that would be fucking amazing. But that's me. But
are you worried about Kennedy Carter?
Why is that?
I know she's been out with an injury, but lately she's been out with an illness and not been with the team.
What kind of illness?
It's undisclosed.
She could be going through some things, you know what I mean? Hopefully it's nothing serious, you know, hopefully it's not something where it's like, you know, life-threatening or anything like that. Am I worried about it? No. Obviously, she's a hell of a talented player. It has nothing to do with, you know, antics as far as like, you know, her, you know, blowing up on a teammate or, you know, just being kind of like, you know, a distraction to the team. Like if she's really going through some stuff, then, you know, all I could do is just wish her great health. And, you know, the Aces are going to hold it down. You know, Aces, you know, they won tonight and they sealed their Commissioner's Cup, the final, playing the Liberty. So we're all looking forward to that. You know, I mean, we got the depth as far as like in the guard position to be able to be without Kennedy Carter for a little bit. But as long as she comes back healthy, you know what I mean? I think that's just the main concern for me. I just want her to be healthy and be able to play. So I wish her nothing the best, and I wish her with a speedy recovery, man. And hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Yeah, and there was also, you know, a little drama with the whole social media thing where she posted free agent. And then
she did what? I didn't see this. What did she do?
She put on her post, like on her bio, she was a free agent. And she went back today. When she came back today, you know, everything was fine, I guess. But
when was this?
I think it was last week.
Well, honestly, I did not know about that.
And
I don't know,
man. She hasn't been getting playing time since that post.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. So honestly, that kind of changes my whole perception on the thing. I still wish her the best with the illness and stuff like that. But with that situation, yeah, I guess I would be a little bit concerned because this is kind of the same problem she had when she was with Chicago. You know what I mean? And it was one of the main reasons why she was out of this league. I know a lot of people like to put it as, you know, Caitlin Clark got her out of this league, but I think it was more to that situation than to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark had nothing to do with her not being in this league. If you're talented, you're talented, and people will keep you on the team. No one cares. Look, Kennedy Carter is at a crossroads right now. It seems like if she wants to continue having a career in the WNBA, she's going to need to learn how to be a teammate, and learn how to not be a distraction to the team. We all know Becky Hammon is not playing with the bullshit. She don't got time for it. You know what I mean? She comes from a coaching lineage of Greg Popovich, who's one of the greatest head coaches of all time. Still prayers out to Pop. You know what I mean? Hopefully, his rehabilitation from his stroke is doing well. He's been present, a little bit more, especially when the Spurs were in the finals. So it was good to see him, in the light. But she comes from that lineage, man. And a lot of those coaches who come from that lineage, they don't play with the bullshit. They don't got time for that. Either you're going to be a part of this team, and you're gonna be with this team, and you're gonna be a contributor to this team. You're gonna be a great teammate. You're gonna be coachable. Like, we'll make it work. But if you're gonna be a distraction, if you're gonna do this free agency stuff, if it's all about me, and me, then at the end of the day, if Kennedy Carter is going to be like that, then I don't want her part of the Aces either. I don't care how talented she is. I would love for her to be on this team because she's ultra talented. But you will not be bigger than the program. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? And now, would that affect the Aces' chances of winning NBA Finals? I'm sure it'll make it a little bit tougher. It's going to put more pressure on Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young and obviously Asia Wilson. And we're going to need people to step up. Then maybe it could be a situation where they can do a trade, where somebody else might be interested, or they could find somebody they can replace her with. But Kennedy Carter, again, like, I'm not going to, again, that could have just been one spur of the moment type of thing. We all know how emotional she is. But hopefully she can get it together, man. So that's just kind of my whole philosophy on that. Hopefully she gets her shit together. If not, then, I will be surprised if she's still on this team by trade deadline.
If she don't make it with the Aces, she's out of the bottom line. If she doesn't make it, if they cut her and she's gone, she's not getting another chance. Because if Becky Hammon can't deal with you no more,
yeah, no one's gonna do it.
Ain't nobody. Because it took Teresa Witherspoon. It took Teresa Witherspoon to vouch for her to come on the Aces first and foremost. She's the one that reached out to Becky Hammon and said, "Hey, can you please just give her a chance, try out or whatever?" And of course, we all know she's super talented. Kennedy Carter should be starting for every team in this league. Easily.
She could be competing for MVPs, honestly, if she was in the right position.
She's a walking bucket. Let's call it for what it is. But you're not going to be big, especially at the Aces. If you was on the Lynx, if you was on the Liberty, any top tier team, any top tier coach is not going to deal with that.
So if you were her friend right now, what would be your advice to her currently right now?
Chill. Like, just play your role. You know what I'm saying? You coming out the bench, you still getting your points. She's still scoring like 18, 19 off the bench. Like, you can come to the Aces and think that you're going to just take over.
And playing key minutes too. There was minutes where she was getting over Jackie Young. So
yeah.
So like,
what I'm just saying, you're not going to come on this team and be the one, because we all know Asia Wilson this is her team. This is her league, and this is her team. You know what I'm saying? So you go and get that shit out your mind right now.
So let me ask you this. We kind of talked about it that, with Kennedy Carter and the way she was kind of playing before all these instances where it's just like, all right, we could kind of see a situation where Jackie Young could potentially not be on this team next year. You know what I mean? Especially, if it's a situation where, whether they win or lose. Now with this, I low-key think this makes it even more of an effort for them to try to keep Jackie Young low-key. Honestly, you know what I mean? Unless if you find a replacement for her, but I'll be kind of hard. Jackie Young is a hell of a player, hell of a two-way player. She's been one of the main keys. She's probably been the second best player on this team behind Asia Wilson for the majority of the time. So I think it just makes it even more important for them to sign. Honestly, even with this, and let's say even Kennedy Carter does get her act together and she doesn't do it, I would still put an emphasis on trying to sign Jackie Young as for just a protection aspect. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I think unless the Jackie Young's just ready to move on and experience something new, which that would suck. But I don't know. We'll see. It definitely makes it interesting going these next couple weeks. You know what I mean? It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens before because the trade deadline is August. So we still got like about a month and some change. So I think this is going to be a very important 4 weeks for her, for Kennedy Carter. It's going to be very important. So, get healthy. Let's get back on the court. Let's see what happened. Earn your rotation spot back, because obviously you've lost it. You're kind of in the doghouse with Becky Hammond. We'll see what happens, man. She gotta earn her trust back. You know what I mean? She gotta earn it, because she's becoming a distraction by some dumb shit.
And then you got to take into account that once Dana Evans get healthy, you might be, I know Dana ain't Kennedy Carter, but
KB, do your job. This is what they signed you for, to be a great teammate. Be a leader, dog. This is what you get paid for. Step it up, girl. Because it ain't on the court shit. You supposed to, come on, man. Seal it up. Come on, man. Because it's like, I think that obviously we got a great leader in A'ja Wilson, but A'ja has a lot on her plate, and she's not there to be a babysitter. But there needs to be somebody. And I think A'ja Wilson is more trying to be more of a mentor of the rookie than anything else, because she sees a lot of potential in her. And but with Kennedy Carter, I don't know, man. Honestly, after hearing what you kind of told me, I'm really worried about that whole situation. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. At first, when I didn't hear about that, I was just like, sickness. But after hearing that, man, I don't know, man. I'm kind of like 50-50 on if this is gonna work or not, honestly.
Yeah. Obviously, they're trying, because if it was a real problem, I think they would have let her go by now. So maybe Becky is, still trying to get through her. Maybe the team is like, nah, don't let her go. You know what I'm saying? She's too talented. She can help us win the championship type stuff. So maybe the A'ja and Jackie and Chelsea and them are probably vouching for her, like, dang, don't let her go. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need her, especially down the stretch. But she got to get it together.
I agree. I think the Aces will exhaust all options, because she is hella talented. So that makes your point even more justified in the way you think, where it's just like, if it doesn't work out with the Aces, it's just not going to work out, period. If you can't work it out with a championship caliber team and put your pride aside, you have an opportunity to win a ring. You have an opportunity to establish yourself as one of a great key role player that could potentially be all-star. Like, she was playing like an all-star player. You know what I mean? So you were playing like the second best player on this team. Whether people want to agree with that or not, she was playing to that capability, especially early part of the season. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes to the point where she has to she's a free agent and then go back to the Aces. I don't know what's said. I don't know what's said behind those closed doors. Maybe she got caught out with a certain situation, whether offensively or defensively. It could have happened like maybe during a practice session, whatever the case may be. But I don't know, man. We see players like this all the time, whether it's in the WNBA, the NBA, the NFL. Like, hell, I think Rashee Rice is a perfect example, man. Like, Rashee Rice is, from your team, clear as day. Like, I think right now he's probably the most prominent one, where it's just like, we see the talent. Rashee Rice could easily be top 3 receivers in the league. He could easily be that. But with all the stupidity decisions, and obviously Kennedy Carter hasn't done anything to the level that he's done, you know what I mean? But it's in the same sense where it's just like you're throwing your careers away for what? For pride, for ignorance, for simple pleasures. Like, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? You have a chance to change your family's legacy. You have a chance to change, a lot of things in your personal life and be able to experience things that a lot of us will never be able to get a chance to experience. And you have the opportunity to do that, whether it's win Super Bowls, win WNBA championships, get big time contracts, be able to be a professional player, which a lot of us would love to be, but don't have the necessary skill, height, or just the appetite to be in that position. Come on, man. What are we doing? Like, this is my frustration with certain athletes. Like, what a better time to be a fucking athlete, whether you're in college or professional. You are making some insane money in both aspects. You know what I mean? Like, when me and Cris were growing up, especially when you get to college, you weren't getting paid like that. We weren't seeing contracts like that. You know what I mean? Especially in professional. So, like, what are we doing? Like, come on, man. Like, Kennedy, wake the fuck up. Rasheed Rice, wake the fuck up. Wake up. You're both in great positions to win Super Bowls and to become top, well-known, almost Hall of Fame style players if you play your cards right. But you keep making dumb decisions. It's going to ruin your career and ruin your life. And next thing you know, you're going to be trying to do a startup podcast that ain't gonna work. like that's what we headed towards too, man. It's just like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, look what Adrian Broner doing right now, bro. His career, he another one. Adrian Broner, another one. Now, luckily, like he making money over there. No, I'm saying like he got lucky linking up with the Dean the Great dude. He got lucky with that shit. But even with them though, I'm gonna be honest with you. That situation between both of them, you know, I've seen some clips with, you know, I saw the clips with him, you know, doing the shit with Amber Rose, and I know a lot of that shit is just, you know, it's more for show than anything else. But you know, their time is gonna run out with that. You know what I mean? Like it's already slowly getting played out. You know what I mean? And AB, like, look, he making his money now, but we know he gonna blow it. We know he's gonna blow it all. You know what I mean? It's just it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But Kennedy, please, girl, we want you to succeed. You know, get it together, man. Get it together.
Yeah, sure.
Come on the show. Speak your piece, man. Get us some hits.
They should get out here and talk great. It's gonna be our fault, man. We can't go to the Aces game because of you. No,
what did I do? What did I do?
Get invited her on the show. No, I'm just playing. All right, man. Let's do our BetUS show 5 picks.
All right, let's do it.
What you got?
Yeah, man. I'm doing World Cup, man. World Cup has been amazing. I've been enjoying watching all these games. These games have been fire. So I'm gonna go tomorrow. I'm gonna go with Canada money line against Qatar. I'm gonna go with South Korea with the upset over Mexico. I think South Korea has been playing really well, +1.5. So I'm gonna take South Korea with the upset, and I'm gonna take South Africa with the upset tomorrow, as well at plus a half a point. So no, those are my three. Czechia. No, I don't know how you pronounce that fucking country's name.
I'm doing all baseball. Give me the Braves -1.5 over the Giants, Yankees -1.5 over the Sox, and Guardians money line over the Brewers. If you go to any of our social media platforms, you'll see the BetUS link. Go ahead and click on that. First time users only. Sign up with all your information. Put the promo code JORDAN125. You get 125% signing bonus plus 10% gamblers insurance. That's 3 risk-free bets on $100 up to $5,000. That means on your first 3 bets, if you bet $100 and you lose, you keep your money. So you can win you some money, or you can keep your money on your first 3 deposits. Go over there, sign up. Tell Cris Style Mal sent you. And that does it for your BetUS 5 picks. All right, Ma. I saw this the other day. Colin, he did his top 10 NBA players that he would build a franchise around in the next 3 years. He said 3 years. So I'm going to play this clip, and then we'll respond on the other side.
3 years, because I don't want to eliminate old players. If you told me for the next 3 years who I could build around in the NBA, this is the order I would put them in. So let's start with number 1. I don't think it's a big argument here. I would go with Wemby despite the finals. Listen, he played 29 minutes regular season. He played 40 in the finals. He got worn down by OG and Robinson and Cat and Josh Hart leaning on him. Go back to Michael Jordan's first finals. First 3 playoff series. He got bounced. The kid's going to be fine. He's who I would build around. Number 2 would be Jokic. His skill set is perfect. He's one of the smartest players I've ever seen. Point center, distribution, scoring. He's got incredible nuance and touch around the basket. Again, I don't think Denver's done the greatest job since the title of kind of maintaining a roster that works in his favor. He's not a great defender, but he's not as awful as people claim. Jokic would be my 2. Number 3 is the most talented 19-year-old I've ever seen offensively, Cooper Flagg. He's not LeBron in terms of size and strength. His left hand, floaters, right hand, transition. It is remarkable how offensively gifted he is. I said this coming out of college. People said, well, he's Jason Tatum, but more aggressive. And people, whoa, be careful. I think by this year, he will be better than Jason Tatum, who is a really high-end NBA player. Cooper Flagg would be number 3. I would do Ant 4. Now, Ant's going to get expensive. He is highly efficient. His average continues to go up. He shot 40% from 3. So Ant's a terrific player. I wish he has some maturity issues sometimes. Is he a great leader? I don't know. But he's clutch. He's obviously a hard worker because his game keeps getting better. Ant is my number 4. Number 5. Now, this is when it gets tougher. I would go SGA. He's the most criticized guy in the league. I get 30 points a game, humility, great teammate. There's no resentment in the building, despite the fact that he takes a majority of the late game shots. He and Brunson have that in common. There's no resentment at all in the building. He's loved by everybody. And I'm sorry. I mean, he led him to the number 1 seed. There's not a lot not to like. Aesthetically, it's not a beautiful game. But I get numbers and production and durability that's redeemable. Number 6, Luka. Durability is a problem now. Well, no. It's a real problem now. Also, you have to build a certain team around Luka. You don't have to do that with Anthony Edwards or Cooper Flagg. Just go build a team and get good players. Luka's durability and conditioning is a problem. You know, I'm getting to the point now with this durability stuff with Luka. I wonder if he's already reached his peak. And I think that's a legitimate question. Number 7, I would do Giannis. Again, he's older. Age concerns, 32 next year, and he's not a perimeter player. He is a remarkable athlete. I think more than a few people in the NBA think he is the most legitimate Wemby stopper, if there is such a thing, by an individual. He's never really developed an outside shot. He's got the ball in his hands a lot, so he's not like a classic big, but I think he turns any franchise, takes him to another level if he signed. Number 8, and this is a guy I like more than I think the rest of you, Cade Cunningham. Big, strong. He's only 24 years old. He's not a plus defender, but the Pistons had the number 1 defense or number 2 defense, and he was part of that collective. He's also developed into a very good elevator of others. He can score. Now, he's not super creative as a shot creator, but he's good enough. The fact that Detroit was a number 1 seed without a second dependable scorer tells you how good this kid is. Great facilitator, good kid, can play defense, tremendous body. Number 9, Jalen Brunson. I know you think it's too low, but I do think he is a 6'2" player who's got kind of a different game. He succeeds despite size and defensive limitations. He's got an incredibly high usage rate, and I do believe this roster was built perfectly around him. I love him. I'm putting him at 9. Most of you won't like it, but I think that's fitting. And number 10 to me is the surprise. It's Jason Tatum. I think one of the reasons you're getting Giannis rumors is he's strangely passive in big spots. They moved Marcus Smart because he was taking shots away from him. They're talking about moving Jaylen Brown because he takes shots away from him. I don't worry too much about durability. I've said before, I can like you a lot as a player, but there are times in big games late, he kind of, is he on the floor? I never, ever say that with Cade Cunningham or Jalen Brunson. They may miss a shot, but I never ask, are they on the floor? Tatum's just too passive, too often to put him above those guys.
What's your thoughts, sir?
That was a lot to digest. I wrote down his list. Wemby at number one. Obviously, I think he's clear number one. Obviously, he did state the next 3 years. So Wemby, yeah, I'm not mad at Wemby being number one. We all know the capabilities and obviously what he did. Obviously, I know a lot of people after these finals, including me, left a little bit of distaste, but I'm still a big Wemby fan. I still love like the intensity of it. I just think there's better ways to go about it. And obviously there's a little bit of a maturity aspect that he still needs to be better at in a sense, but we all know the type of talent he is. If he's healthy, I totally get that. I understand that. Jokic at number two. I personally want to have Jokic at number two. He is a 31-year-old player. He's not the most athletic freak, but I think he will still be stable as far as like being a consistent, great player. Next 3 years, I'm not mad at it, but I probably wouldn't put him at number two. Cooper Flag, the next 3 years, build around. Like, yeah, I wouldn't mind Cooper Flag, but it comes to the sense with. I go back to Luka. Obviously, I'm gonna go to Luka. I know he kind of talked about kind of like the health aspect of it. Like, if you're gonna question Luka's health, then why wouldn't you question Cooper Flag? Cooper Flag has already had multiple injuries in his earlier part of the career. He had it when he was with Duke. Anthony Edwards has had multiple injuries consistently the last couple years. Giannis has had injury problems. Jason Tatum, he said he's not concerned about it. He just came off an Achilles injury. Like, what are we talking about? So, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I think Luka's too low for me. If we're gonna build, I think this unnecessary hate of Luka. Honestly, I would put Luka at number two. I think Luka behind Wemby is probably one of the most dominant offensive basketball players. Next to SGA, I'll put SGA at number three. I would probably have Cooper Flag 4. I would have Anthony Edwards 5. I would have Cade 6. I would have Brunson 7. I'm gonna say this, dog. I wouldn't even have Jason Tatum on this list. I would have Jaylen Brown.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Because I know Jason Tatum is a hell of a player, and I know that conversation between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum has always been like who's better. But when you really look at what the bigger games, Jaylen Brown has been the better player. Like when he was Finals MVP over Jason Tatum. Like anytime we saw Jaylen Brown literally lead this team to be the number 2 seed without Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I love Jason Tatum, but I think Jaylen Brown's probably the better player, low-key, me personally. That's just me. So I would have him in this list.
Tyrese Halliburton over him too.
You would have him over Jason Tatum? Tyrese Halliburton? I think they're the same player. You know what I mean? Like, I like Tyrese Halliburton. He is coming off an Achilles injury, so that does worry me. We got to see what he looks like.
If all things were even, they were healthy.
And they were healthy. I personally would probably still slight Jason Tatum ahead of Tyrese Halliburton. I know everybody's still enamored by what happened with the Indiana Pacers, but I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of that shit was super lucky shit. I ain't gonna lie, bro. A lot of them shots were like luck type shots. Like the New York Knicks was a luck type shot. I think the one against the Milwaukee Bucks, that shit was a little bit luck too. Not to hate, but Tyrese Halliburton is nice. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Pascal Siakam was one of the big keys why that team was so good. Pascal Siakam was playing amazing ball. More so than I know Tyrese Halliburton was hooping, but I think Pascal Siakam got overlooked that whole run and how many big minutes. And honestly, without Aaron Nesmith hitting fucking 7 threes in a fucking row, it wasn't a Tyrese Halliburton thing. That was more so the team. So I would probably still have Jason Tatum ahead, and then I would probably have Giannis in there too. He would be more towards the end for me because again, we've seen multiple calf injuries. He hasn't been relevant in the playoffs in the last the last time they won in 2000, 2020. So he would probably be at the end. But I don't know. I just kind of got a little bit annoyed by the whole injury take on Luka, and I just think he gets more hate than normal.
What's your thoughts on Tyrese Maxey?
I love Tyrese Maxey. I think Tyrese Maxey could also be potentially on this list to be building around. I think he showed a lot, especially in the playoffs, man, this past year, and he was one of the main cogs of why they won that next to Joel Embiid coming back. But obviously, it's kind of sad, Like Joel Embiid's situation is really sad because Joel Embiid could easily be number one for me if he was still healthy. If he was a healthy basketball player, I think Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia Sixers have a championship or two already. I think they, So, I think Tyrese Maxey could definitely be one. It's disappointing that Paolo Banchero is not on this list. He should be on this list, but with the inconsistencies with him, like that one's tough. Jalen Johnson should potentially be on this list. I love Jalen Johnson on the Atlanta Hawks. He hooped amazingly last year. He potentially could make this list. It's disappointing that Devin Booker is not on this list. He should be on this list, but I understand why he's not. Donovan Mitchell, another one who should be on this list, but I understand why he's not. LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, I think Con and LaMelo, more so Con, he potentially could be one that potentially could make that list. LaMelo should be on this list. I think LaMelo's ultra talented, but he has his issues as well. Who else could potentially be on this list? Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes could potentially be on that list. Ja's a hell no. Sorry, Ja. Nah. I don't know. It's an interesting list. I think overall it's an interesting list. I think it's a very interesting take. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the names. I'm more so I would just flip some names around. But overall, if this is your list and you gave me this, I wouldn't be mad at it. I would just personally have my own personal flips. But overall, man, I think all the names are pretty much almost correct, honestly. I'm just glad he didn't say LeBron James. I'm like, we still trying to build around a 42-year-old. I'll be like, bro, y'all tripping.
Yeah, I think he understands it. If you put LeBron on there, you probably gonna put KD on there.
Nah, yeah. You would like, and then another name that's disappointing that's not on the list, Zion Williamson. You know what I mean? Another name that should have been on this list. You know what I mean? Brandon Ingram. You know what I mean? Kevin Durant. He older. So, but 3 years. We're talking about just 3 years. Kevin Durant should still probably be one, honestly. But he's not. Yeah. So.
For sure. All right, man. Let's do our top 10 fantasy wide receiver.
For sure. I'll let you go first. Or you want me to go first?
No, I got it. Hold on. Let me fix this. There we go. Top 10 NFL fantasy wide receivers. All right. I'm starting from 10 up. All right, number 10. I'm going to go with Jameson Williams. My man has been elevating every year. He is a big play waiting to happen. And, yeah, man, I'm going with Jameson Williams. Number 9, I got Ted McMillan. I think Ted, man, he showed he was a number 1 wide receiver as a rookie. We had our, hesitations towards him going in, but he showed us that he's a true number 1 wide receiver. And I think in his second year now that he'll have a grasp of this offense, I think he'll be a major cog. And I think Bryce Young or whoever the quarterback, if Bryce Young doesn't get it done, will be trying to get him the football. So number 8, I'm gonna go with Devontae Smith now that AJ Brown is gone. I think that Devontae Smith is going to get spammed a lot. He's going to be the number one wide receiver unless Mekhi Lemon emerges. And we both love Mekhi Lemon. Unless Mekhi Lemon emerges and be the number one wide receiver right now, I think Devontae Smith is the number one wide receiver. And I think that they're going to make sure that they get him the ball. Number 7, I'm going George Pickens. I think George Pickens, regardless if he signs an extension or not, my man is trying to get paid. And so I think he's going to ball out this year. And, you saw how him and Dak clicked with chemistry in that tandem. But, I would put George Pickens on my fantasy team. Number 6, Amon St. Brown. We all know my man kills it in the slot. And he is a yak man, over the middle man. He's going to always get the ball. That is Jared Goff's number 1 wide receiver. Number 5, I got CeeDee Lamb. We all know what CeeDee Lamb, when healthy, my man is one of the best in the league. And he's always going to, he's Dak number 1 target, even though George Pickens was kind of becoming that last year, especially when CeeDee Lamb was out. But when he's in the lineup, he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. Number 4, I'm going Nico Collins, man. When Nico was healthy, I think he had a little bit of a down year last year because he was hurt a lot. But when he's healthy, he's one of the best wide receivers in this league, and it's not close. Like, dude, always open, good route runner, gets in the end zone. I think he's going to be good in fantasy this year. Number 3, I'm going JSN. JSN is like a clone of Amon St. Brown to me. They kill it over the middle of the field. They're good route runners, and they're going to get spanned a lot of targets. So I'm definitely going to take JSN. Number 2, Puka Nacua. We all know what Puka Nacua, him and Matthew Stafford got crazy chemistry. He's always going to get the ball. Matthew Stafford's always looking for him. And the number 1, Jamar Chase. What's understood don't need to be said.
For sure. All right. Number 10, I'm gonna go DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore paired up with Josh Allen. I think he's gonna get a lot of love this year. DJ Moore gets forgot about, especially with some of the quarterback play that he's gotten before Caleb Williams was there. I think before, DJ Moore has had some great years where I think he was a great fantasy receiver. Him pairing up with Josh Allen, I think will do wonders for him. He's gonna be smiling a lot. So I got DJ Moore at number 10. Number 9, I got Jamison Williams. I think we saw the explosion from that offense with him and how more comfortable he was in that offense. I think he's just going to be amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up eventually being the number 1 receiver fantasy-wise on that team. But I'm gonna have a 9. I got his boy Amon-Ra St. Brown next after that. We just know with this offense, they're going to throw the ball a lot. Obviously, with no David Montgomery, I wouldn't be surprised. I know they did sign Isaiah Pacheco, but Isaiah Pacheco ain't going to amount to anything with that team. You know what I mean? With Jahmyr Gibbs, we know they like to throw a lot. Obviously, he will run the ball as well, but I think they're going to throw the ball a lot. Number 7, I'm going to go JSN, only in the fact that he had an amazing year last year. He was amazing. It's more so I don't know if Sam Darnold can do what he did again, what he did last year. This is not about JSN. To me, this is more about Sam Darnold. That's just me. Number 6, I'm gonna go George Pickens. You know what I mean? He's still playing for a contract. If it was not a contract year, I might have him a little bit lower. But he's gonna play his ass off because he wants that money. And then just with this offense, Dak Prescott, he's gonna get his stats. They're gonna throw that ball. He's gonna get it seemed like there were some parts of the season, especially when he played against my Raiders, it seemed like Dak was looking for George more so than CeeDee Lamb. Now I don't know if it was because of injuries or anything like that, but it seemed like he was just more comfortable with George Pickens at that time, and they just had a hell of a connection. So I think that would be the same. Number 5, I'm going with Emeka Egbuka with the Bucks. Like, look, I know Baker Mayfield can have his ups and downs, but with no Mike Evans, Emeka is clearly going to be the number 1 receiver on that team. If Baker Mayfield is highly motivated to get that contract, I think he could have an opportunity to play well. We've seen Baker Mayfield have some really good seasons, and if that is the case, I think Emeka could have like a blowout season, kind of like JSN. I think he's just as talented as JSN. We could potentially see that, so I think he's going to have a hell of a year fantasy wise. Number 4, I got Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase. what's left to be said? Only reason why I have him number 4 is because I always anticipate that they're going to start out slow, or I don't want to see it, but we've seen old boy get hurt plenty of times and he misses like 2 months. So I don't want to see it. I would love for him to be healthy, but we've seen it. Number 3, I think Justin Jefferson is going to bounce back. Now, obviously, the quarterback situation is a little funny. Like, we don't know if I personally think it will eventually be Kyle Murray. But even if it's JJ McCarthy, I still think Justin Jefferson will have a bounce back. Like, he still had over 1,000 yards with how pathetic that offense was. He just didn't get no touchdowns. He had only 2 TDs. I think it will be a little bit different. I know Addison got a lot of those TDs, but the Vikings want Justin Jefferson to be happy. They're going to find a way to get him that goddamn ball, and I think he's going to have a bounce back year. And Justin Jefferson's just too talented not to have a great year again. Number 2, I got CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb will be healthier this year. I've already stated that. Surprisingly, I really like this Dallas Cowboys team, especially this offense. This offense is going to be very, very explosive as long as everybody stays healthy. I think CeeDee Lamb is due for another great year, especially coming off of last year. A little disappointing with the injuries and stuff like that, but I think he will regain his number 1 status, and I think him and Dak will be back to where they were. And then number 1, I got Puka, man. I think Puka with this offense. I know Devontae Adams is there, but Puka's gonna have a hell of a year. I know he's been going through a lot this offseason. He had the whole situation with White and his former wife, and some comments he made on certain Twitch and kick streams and stuff like that got him in a little bit of trouble. I think he even went into rehab for drinking or something like that. So he's been practicing. He got a new haircut. Hopefully I think he'll be highly motivated. They got a lot to play for. And then another thing is this offense is going to get the ball a lot with that defense. And we all assume that Aaron Donald is going to sign with that team. This defense is going to get a lot of stops, and they're going to have plenty of opportunities to score that ball. So, and if Matthew Stafford stay healthy, he's going to be legit. Couple honorable mentions: Jalen Waddle with the Broncos. I think he could have a really good year. And don't sleep on Ladd McConkey, man. Like, I know we talk our shit about the Chargers team, but when Ladd's healthy, Ladd McConkey is a hell of a receiver, man. And he's put up some amazing stats. His rookie year, I think he was easily top, 6, 7 receiver for fantasy wise. So look out for him as well. And obviously T. Higgins as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. It's time for Mal's random news. It is now time for Mal's random news.
All right, y'all. We all know what time it is. This is the second half of random news, where it's a lot of topics that don't make it to the main docket, but obviously they make it to random news. And then plus, we get to hear Chris's voice. We get to hear him speak. We get to hear his opinions that's not Chiefs related, because we love to hear anything but the Chiefs. So, sir, are you ready for this week's? Yeah. All right, man. First up, we talked about it a little bit before, but we finally got the WNBA Commissioner's Cup Championship. It's all set. We got the Aces versus the Liberty. It will happen June 30th. Obviously, we always gonna root for our ladies, but what's your overall take with this game, man? Could this be the potential preview of the WNBA Finals?
Yeah, most definitely. It could definitely be a preview for the finals. Sabrina Ionescu is back in the squad. She was dealing with her injuries or whatever. Brianna Stewart is playing pretty good this season. Jacquel Jones. They got, Liberty's always going to be well coached. They're going to be, right there in the thick of things. And, yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised. And we all know how we feel about the Aces. When the Aces are, all cylinders, even though they kind of came out flat the other day and got smoked by the Wings. But, yeah, they redeemed themselves tonight, and they're in the Commissioner Cup final. So, yeah, this definitely could be a preview of the finals.
Nah, no doubt. I think it's gonna be a hell of a game. Obviously, the Liberty seem like they're fully healthy. Hopefully, Kennedy Carter will be ready to play in that game. I would love to see us be, fully healthy as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Next up, we have the show The Burrows. I don't know if you've been familiar with that show. It's on Netflix. It has been canceled by Netflix after just one season. It seemed like it was pretty popular. You know what I mean? It seemed like people were kind of enjoying it. I'm not sure if you watched it. If you have, are you surprised? You know what I mean? Anything like that?
I've never heard of the show.
Oh no. Oh, okay. For sure. It's about like this old community, and they got to deal with like these, weird like alien type things. It's actually cool. It's pretty funny, kind of like spoofy, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. All right. Next up, Carmel Moulton. He made an announcement saying, unfortunately, he won't be fighting next weekend on the who's fighting next weekend? Off the tip of the tongue.
Boots.
Boots fight, yeah. Carmel Moulton. So he said he won't be fighting next weekend. I guess something happened with the fight. We don't know what happened. He didn't really make specifics and stuff like that. But overall, what's your thoughts with Carmel not fighting? Are you disappointed? I've seen it through how his comments. People have been kind of stating you're a hell of a fighter, but your inactivity is starting to become a problem. Do you have the same sentiments with him?
He need to get away from Floyd. I'm sorry. Floyd is already going through his issues, and it's affecting you, bro. Like he's a good in-ring mentor to have. You can still go to his boxing gym, get some tips from him, but as far as a promoter right now, get away from him, man. Go somewhere else. Go to Eddie Hearns. Go to even Bob Arum, or go to anybody else, bro. But get away from Floyd as far as a promoter, though, because he's not promoting you right, man. And there's some young fights that you could be having right now that you need to be in there with, and you're not active enough. You're just not active. You should be where Abdul Mason is right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. Speaking of Floyd Mayweather, we have reports that it seems like he's in trouble again for writing bad checks, about 200 grand, I believe. ESPN did report that. Obviously, there's been mad reports about some money problems that he's been having. Obviously he has the Manny Pacquiao fight. I think he has another fight that's supposed to be like in Greece or something like that next week. So, what's your kind of overall thoughts with this whole Floyd situation with his money? Do you think the Pacquiao fight could be in trouble? What's your overall thoughts with that?
No, I don't think it's in trouble. I think they'll figure it out, but it's just sad, man. It's sad because we've always looked at Floyd like, he always handled his business. He was one of the more prominent business figures as far as boxing goes. And, a lot of these boxers, what I'm saying, they don't get to leave away, with a lot of money like a Floyd Mayweather does. You know what I'm saying? He had kind of transcended that, knowing that he was the A side. Once he became the A side, he knew how to, use his likeness to up his money. So it's just sad to see.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. From the Mayweather that we've seen, him flaunting his money. I've always had this premise with Floyd that I could potentially see this coming, just with the amount he was spending. We live in the city that he lives in, so we hear a little bit more, we see a little bit more, as far as like everything going on. Floyd will always be considered one of the greats of all time. If you want to put him as your GOAT, I got no problem with it. It's all personal preference with me. But this could be a very sad story, a very sad ending to a prominent boxer, where it's a situation where he did all the correct things. It's kind of anti of what he was about as a boxer. He was all about business first. He did a lot of great things where he became one of the richest boxers of all time. Becoming his own promoter, he having his own promotional team, being pretty much the boss of what he wanted to do with the fights, getting all the money. He did a lot of transcendent things that a lot of boxers couldn't do. And for him to do all of that and then to still end up being the boxer that's just broke, not doing well with his money, it's sad. You kind of killed everything that you were trying not to be. You know what I mean? With some of the choices that you did, and it's kind of a sad move. So hopefully Floyd can get his act together. Like, I think at the end of the day, no one really cares what you be spending your money on, dog. No one wants to see you flaunting your bread. I think it gets to a point at your age, brother, where it's just like, do you even still need to do that anymore? Like, you're retired. Like, we don't. At the end of the day, just live your life. You know what I mean? Like, we don't. No one needs to know how much money you spend. No one needs to see you flaunt your bread. Like, it's time to just grow up. You know what I mean? And just be better. Just be better. Be better. All right, man. Next up, Max Kellerman, man. He has some comments about Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis has been in the news. Potential Floyd Schofield fight. We'll talk about that here in a little bit as well. But I'm gonna play this clip and get Chris's thoughts about what Max said about Gervonta.
Against Gervonta has held belts in multiple divisions. And I want to be very clear for the people who are a little slower catching on. The implicit premise that I have when I say he's held belts, but he's never been a champion, is that those belts you consider legitimate championships, and I do not, for good reason, which I won't get into here, but you can, we'll do it another time. He's never beaten the man in the division, Tank. He's never proven that he's actually the boss of the division, the champion of the division, except economically, because he has a big following, right? You'd never look at a single division and say, Tank Davis is the champion of that division. He's been the champion of a sanctioning body, which is not nothing, but it means that you've done something. You're probably a top 10 fighter in that weight class, probably, usually, almost always, but doesn't mean you've been the champ. At a certain point, it would be a shame if the dude is talented. Tank never even tests himself to see if he could actually be the champion.
Yeah, I'm with you, Max, and I will say, if this fight does happen, I love it for a couple of reasons. A is Tank will be coming off of like an 18-month layoff since that Roach fight and all the legal issues and all that. So a lot of times you see those guys fight very easy fights, right? Schofield's not an easy fight. We don't know who's going to win, even though Tank will be a favorite. And I think it'd be an exciting fight. You're talking about two guys who can punch. That was very impressive, Malik, the way Floyd Schofield took out Tevin Farmer.
All right, man. So that was just some of the comments with Gervonta Davis, rumored to be negotiating with Flo Schofield for potential comeback out fight this fall. So two-part question. What are your thoughts with what Max said about Gervonta Davis and his resume and his career? And then what would your thoughts be about a Gervonta Davis-Floyd Schofield fight?
Well, I'll answer the second one first. I think Floyd Schofield is way out of his league. I'm sorry. I think he's a young, talented kid. Personally, I thought the best way for Floyd Schofield to go was to go fight Abdul Mason. That was the fight for you. Sorry. I think that you guys are at your same age. That's where you at right now. I think Tank is going to hurt you. I could be surprised. Could be wrong, but I just think Tank's going to hurt you. As far as what Max said, it's an interesting take. Because I do feel like there was a sense of a boogeyman type feel to Tank. So I feel like there was fighters who kind of ducked him earlier in his career. And then he got to a point where it was just kind of like he was the A side, and it was like. And then we got to take it in context. Yeah, Shakur is popping right now. But at the time, there was an unevenness of Shakur Stevens. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like, yeah, we know he's talented, but he don't always show it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of like, and then anybody else in his division, the Keyshawn Davis, even him. You know what I'm saying? It was so much inconsistency in the division that he fights in that Tank was the it. People wanted to see him. You know what I'm saying? He did. Say what you want about Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz was the top dude in that division at one point. Yeah. And he knocked him out clean.
Yeah.
Yes, is Tank a slow starting fighter, and there are some fights where it looks like he's losing. But that's just the thing about him. He just got that type of power. And he's more skilled than Deontay Wilder, but that's kind of how Deontay Wilder's fights went. When you have that type of power, sometimes that just alleviates all that yeah, they're slow starters, but once they hit your ass, it's over. And
Yeah.
that's Tank. You know what I'm saying? And I know we've had a bad, feel about him these past few years because of legal problems. And I think the Lamont Roach fight kind of turned people off from him or whatever. But let's not act like before that fight, people were looking at Tank as one of the top dudes in this. He was pound for pound one of the best dudes in boxing. Yes, I do consider him a champion. I don't know what Max Kellerman is talking about, but I consider him a champion. And all he has, him being Schofield is not going to make me be like, oh, there he goes.
Mm-hmm.
But if he beats I don't know, if he beats Keyshawn Davis, if he goes back and beats Lamont Roach, now me and you are going to be like, all right, Tank back.
Yeah.
Him fighting Schofield is like, okay, Schofield's talented, but are we going to be surprised if Tank knocked his ass out in the first few rounds? No. So I just think
who would you like? Who would you like to see Gervonta fight? If not Schofield, who would you want him to come back out and fight?
I mean, of course.
I still think he needs to do the Roach fight. I still want to see the Roach fight.
I need that rematch.
I need the Roach fight. I need the Roach fight.
I need that rematch.
Yeah, I need that rematch because the lasting image I have of Gervonta Davis was him getting worked by Roach. That's what I have. You know what I mean? So I understand. I don't mean to cut you off. I'll let you finish. I know you probably have more to say.
No, I was just saying.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I'm with you. I want him and Lamont Runs now. Lamont Rose loses to William Zepeda, then I wouldn't mind William Zepeda versus Tank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There are some fights out there. Matula, who beat Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz is another good fight. Like, there's some fights out there that he can work himself up to. And then, of course, eventually we would want him and Shakur Stevenson in the ring. Mm-hmm. That, like, to me, that in that division, that 135, 140, I think that's the ultimate fight that we want to see is Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis. Like, if anybody's telling you, nah, I don't want to see that fight, they're lying.
Yeah.
They want to see that fight because they want to see if Tank can handle Shakur's boxing IQ and ability, and can Shakur not get hit by that dynamite in his hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, of course, we want that fight. But there are some fights out there, like you said, Roach, Zepeda, Matula, Andy Cruz. Like, there are a litany of fights for Tank to get back. Hell, if what's your name is coming back, I know he's been on layoff, but bump it. Give me Tank Davis and
Lomachenko.
Yeah, give me him and Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Why not? I ain't mad at it. I know he's past his prime, but so what? Let's see it. He still got footwork to still give Tank some problems.
Yeah.
And that was before Shakur Stevenson. That was the fight that everybody wanted to see.
Maybe Teofimo. Maybe you could do Teofimo.
Maybe even Tio. I wouldn't be mad at Tio. Now I know Tio moved up, but I think Tio's moved up to 147. So
no, I think for that fight he might consider maybe meeting that like a catch weight or something. Maybe they can do a catch weight or something like that.
Yeah,
144, 145 or something like that. I agree, man. I think at the end of the day with Tank Davis, it's like. I need that Roach fight, man. I need that Roach fight. You can't run from that fight. And I think honestly, I think Tank should be. I think he should want that fight. You know what I mean? Not just so much for like I need to prove like yo, bro, it was just a bad night. Let me go ahead and work you. But in the sense of like Roach didn't look good his last fight. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like he was dominating his last fight. I'm like,
some people thought he lost to Pitbull.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's just like, go in, do what you got to do, erase that memory that anybody would have because that fight's been long enough where it's just like, go in, you knock him out, people will forget what happened in that first fight. And then, like, if you want to do Floyd Schofield, I agree with you. I think Schofield needs a little bit more seasoning in his belt. I think he needs a little bit more just more reps in a sense. I don't think he would be ready for that, but I do understand in a sense if you want to take it because because Gervonta's been out for damn near 2 years almost, that maybe he might be a little rusty. Maybe this might be the time to get him before he gets his rhythm back. You know what I mean? So I kind of understand that too. And I'm not mad at him if he wants to take that froggy risk. I appreciate him with that, because I'm like, we all know like a loss can, sometimes detriment your career. We kind of see that with certain fighters currently right now, but I don't know. We'll see. But at the end of the day, I think Tank Davis just needs to get back in the ring. He needs to get back in the ring. We're tired of seeing him in the news that's not in the ring. And whoever it is, whether it's Roach, whether it's Schofield, whoever the case may be, just get back in the ring, brother. Let's start getting you back in here. Let's start getting you back in rotation, because once we get Tank back, then we could have great fights every other month. You know what I mean? So the potential is there. You know what I mean? So we'll see what's up with that. Keep it moving, man. Next up, man, Future, man. He announced the new album's on the way, titled The Real Me. Obviously, we haven't seen Future in a little bit with a solo album, man. So what's your thoughts with his announcement? Are you excited for a new Future album?
I mean, I've never been a big Future fan, but
no, okay,
but I'm happy for him. I know he got a huge fan base. I respect it. You know what I'm saying? And he's part of the Dungeon family, so I always had a respect for Future. But yeah, I mean.
You think we get another Drake? You think we get another Drake verse?
Of course.
On this album. I think we get the good Drake and Future song on this, because the one on Drake's album, I still can't fuck with it. I'm sorry, I can't. But I'm excited for Future, man. I've always been a big Future fan, so I'm excited to hear his music. All right, next up, man, SGA is moving on from Converse and has signed a new deal with Nike. He will have a signature shoe coming after a back-to-back MVP seasons. We are excited to build Shea's incredible impact with Converse as one of the most creative leaders in the game. This is cool by Nike. What are your thoughts, man, with SGA moving on from Converse and going to Nike?
I mean, good for him. Get that bag, player. You know what I'm saying? Get that Nike money. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, shoe deals aren't really the same like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like there's so many people doing different deals than what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, yeah, obviously, I used to be a big sneakerhead. Like, honestly, the love for the game has changed a lot, especially with bots kind of killing the aspect of getting these shoes. Like, a lot of the shoes you really want that they make limited are just not the same anymore. The quality of the shoes, some shoes are really good, some shoes are not really good. A
lot of these NBA dude shoes be ugly.
They do. Like, I'm not a fan of the Jaws. I'm not really a fan of the newer Durants. The LeBrons are hit or miss with me. Honestly, I think who have the better shoes are the WNBA players. I think Sabrina Ionescu's shoe is fire. Obviously, Asia Wilson's shoe is really fire.
I'll even give Kaylin her little props. Them shoes, that's all.
Yeah, Kaylin's shoe. But we all gotta remember, all three of those shoes are modeled after what? They're all modeled after the Kobe's. They're all like silhouettes of Kobe's. You know what I mean? So, and Kobe, I think he has one of the GOAT basketball shoes of all time, next to Michael Jordan. So, at the end of the day, we'll see. I like some of the Kyrie's and stuff like that. I think Kyrie's shoes are really good too, especially when he was with Nike. But we'll see. I actually like the Shea Converses. I never owned a pair. I did like the model type, so I'll be very curious to see how his new shoes will kind of look. But we'll see what's up. All right, man. Next up, man, we got the big time parade tomorrow. The New York Knicks celebrate their championship in New York City. They're expecting over 1 million people to be there. I'll be surprised if anybody in New York will be working. They're planning on having over 10,000 NYPD police officers to be working this event. What's your overall thoughts, man? Who you think will be the MVP of the parade tomorrow out of all the players? Who you think will get the most drunk out of all the players?
Cat.
You think Cat? Think Cat will be the wildest one? I don't know. Did you see Mikal Bridges' IG live?
I don't think he's gonna be doing.
I think Mikal might. I think it might be either Mikal or Jose Alvarado. I think one of those two guys will be the MVP. I think Jalen Brunson, he too cool. Josh Hart, I think he'd be a little cool. I could see Cat though. I could see Cat getting a little lifted. You know what I mean? He'll be with his wifey. I wouldn't be surprised if she brought the bag. So
y'all be careful out there, man.
Nah, be careful.
Be careful, man. Don't be beating up people. Don't be getting in the fights, man. Just have fun, man. Celebrate.
I think it'll be
that's what you guys supposed to be doing. Celebrating.
Nah, it'll be an joyous celebration. I'm sure it'll be live. I'm sure those people will be partying all day, all the way to the week. They're gonna be partying all summer. So again, I state this again. Please let me have a New York to go to when I go out there in a couple weeks. I do not want to go out there and everything be closed because y'all done burned everything down. I do not want that. Okay. All right. Next up, man. Jets owner Woody Johnson announces that the team is seriously considering a rebrand with the primary goal of moving to Long Island. Johnson believes a new stadium can be built in Long Island by 2029 as they try to branch away from the Giants and embrace a full rebrand. What are your thoughts with this, man? Do you think this is the correct move with Woody Johnson and moving the Jets to having its own location and rebranding the team?
I guess. I mean, you still on suck. He's still one of the worst owners in the damn league.
Crazy.
Move to Long Island, Rochester, Buffalo. I don't care where y'all move to. You'll be trash.
Yeah. We'll see what's up, man. I'm not mad. Like, look, at the end of the day, I think, you kind of want to get away from the Giants in the sense if you want to build your own stadium. I'm not mad at that. So, do what you can. If you believe it'll help you, get rid of some of that bad juju, then I'm not mad at it. Do what you got to do. So you got the money for it. Make it happen. Yes. All right. Next up, speaking of Max Kellerman, he made some more comments. I'll play this clip and we'll go from there.
Everybody turning on Wendy.
I know Shea didn't have his second best player. It's a real thing. He was the Finals MVP the year before, and he's been a very clutch player.
That's a real thing. Yeah.
If you take Shea off the Thunder and replace him with Jalen Brunson, the Thunder beat the Spurs. Same guys defended Shea that tried to defend Brunson. They had some success early in the series and limited Brunson's offense. Brunson is one of those players, and the Knicks are a special team, but he's really the number one reason why, though there are others. Rich, there are some athletes that you watch if you're not a fan of that team. And you're like, no matter what your team's lead is, no matter if that guy's in the game, you're like, damn it. You just
look, I can't play that fantasy basketball. Corny, everybody turning on Wendy.
I know Shea didn't have.
All right, that was Max Kellerman's thoughts on Jalen Brunson switching with Shea Gilgeous. Do you agree, disagree?
No, because Chad Homer is still on the damn team. He the one that was getting schooled.
Yeah.
It wasn't SGA.
No, it wasn't really SGA's problem, yeah.
So it don't matter. Both of them. He can't stop shit from getting schooled by Wemby. It went that same fucking way.
Yeah. And on top of that, he wouldn't have J-Dub too because J-Dub is hurt. AJ Mitchell is hurt.
Yeah.
So.
What is it? Max, stop talking bastard.
This is why Stephen A. Smith got you off the show. You shit like this. All right, man. We're gonna play another clip. And obviously we'll get Cris' thoughts.
It's dynasty or parity, which is better for the sport?
I think dynasty is better for the sport because if we're going to look at the way that the NBA experienced its golden age, those 2 decades where it went from Magic and Bird and Isaiah in between to Michael Jordan, that's where you had the greatest explosion in growth. And it's not just because those guys hoarded the championships. Now you're legislating parity. The owners are saying you aren't allowed to be great for an extended period of time because look at Oklahoma City with Durant and Westbrook and Harden. They weren't allowed to keep their 3 guys together because the money says, okay, you drafted too well. You drafted 3 MVPs. Yeah. You can't hold on to them. The reason that the Knicks won this championship is because Minnesota could not afford to hold on to Karl Anthony Towns, and he became the final piece for them. So it's going to also cost the Knicks on the back end. But to your general question, I like to know that greatness is validated. How do we know that any of the last 8 champions are actually validated because they have not done it again? Giannis is itching to get out. Boston is thinking about trading Jaylen Brown. They don't believe in their 1 championship. LeBron's 1 championship in LA was not enough. So why would it be enough for us?
Validate is the Larry O'Brien that I put on that shelf and stays there forever. That's the validation. The Laker thing.
Oh, you mean participation trophy then?
I'm sorry, Larry O'Brien is a participation trophy?
If everybody gets one.
It is an actual trophy. You won the league that year. The 2021 I get because it's summer camp. Like it was in one little bubble, and that's why people give them crap about that one. But no, you win the title, it's validated. You're forever a champion. The difference, of course, is to me, you can have rivalries without dynasty.
All right, that was Vincent Goodwill on Get Up. I think that was either yesterday or a couple days ago. What are your thoughts of what he said?
It sounds ridiculous and stupid. Like, let's be real. The only people that like dynasties are the people that cheer for that team. Like, at the end of the day, you want to feel like your team has a chance to win a championship. And look, the salary cap in any league, you know what I'm saying, they have made the salary cap to where it is hard for you to keep dynasties together. If you're able to do it for a long-standing time, by all means, your GM is really, really good. And you have some good people in the front office that know how to manipulate the numbers. But at the end of the day, it comes down to how well you draft and how you keep your star player happy. But parity is needed in this league because people are going to stop watching. Because if I feel like my team doesn't have a chance in hell to win because such and such team keeps winning, I'm going to be disinterested. Because it's like you're going into every year. We all know who will win. People have revisionist history of the Patriots. People hated the Patriots. Why? Because they kept winning. My Chiefs are a great example. People hate us because they kept winning. Because they want parity. They want to be like that their team has a chance to win an NBA championship, a Super Bowl championship. And if Seattle cannot win another championship for the next 7-8 years, this does not take away from their Super Bowl. The New York Knicks haven't won a championship in 53 years. They just won one. This is not, if they win another one, this does not take away from their championship. So this dude talking about it's a participation award. Like he act like several different teams have just won the NBA title. So I think he was speaking nonsense. That's just me.
Why is it that I don't understand where this hate with the NBA comes from, though? Because you don't hear this in any other sports. Yeah, fan bases do get annoyed from dynasty winning teams. But when it comes to the NFL, I've never heard one time from any correspondent saying that, that when the NFL was in its parity, which I think for the majority of the time, the NFL is a parity league. Just with the inconsistencies, it's hard in any sport to be a dynasty. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. But there have been multiple dynasties in the NFL. But even when the NFL was kind of going through its phases where multiple champions, I've never heard it being called a participation trophy. I've never heard it one time. For all I know, like for the majority of the time, they praise it. They praise the NFL for being one of the more diverse champions of all. When it came to the NBA, when they had the Warriors, people were bitching and complaining because of the dynasty. The dynasty hurt the NBA. Then now the fact that y'all are bitching and complaining about dynasties, and y'all bitching and complaining about Kevin Durant joining the goddamn Warriors and LeBron James joining Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and LeBron James getting Anthony Davis and all this and Russell Westbrook and all this other type of stuff like that. Now that there's so much parity in the league, now it's turned into a participation trophy now. Like the NBA can't win for trying. Like I don't understand this fake hate with the NBA. Now it's too many threes. When it was back in the day, there was not enough threes, not enough scoring. Now it's too much scoring. You want to go back to watching 88 to 90 point game wins. Like I'm like the NBA cannot win for trying. Like, the idiocy of certain people on these fucking broadcasts makes no sense. Y'all be the same motherfuckers talking about people like me and Chris can't comment because we didn't watch the games all the time. Like, I'm like, bro, we watch it more than y'all. Low key, we see Stephen A playing solitaire while he's at the fucking game. We seen the shit. We seen it. Come on, man. Like, I get it. You're on national TV. You kind of want to make statements that, are cliquey and shit. But this is just downright just dumb. Like, you should literally be suspended for making comments like that. So now winning the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the NBA championship, is a participation trophy now. We just did not see one of the best NBA playoffs. It's one of the most watched NBA playoffs since probably like the early 2000s, probably since Steph Curry and LeBron James going to the Heat. It's probably been since then. Like, this fake hate on the NBA got to stop, bro. It got to stop, bro. It's ridiculous, man. It's crazy. That's it for random news.
For sure. All righty, man. You got anything else?
Nah, I don't have anything else.
You want to donate to the Cris Style Mal podcast? You donate to $ Cris Mal podcast. We'll appreciate whatever you donate to us. Whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, whatever you listen to, we are available on those streaming platforms. Also, first-time watchers on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays 9-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you could jump in the live with us. We could talk about these topics with us. We want to hear from you. We want to get your opinion. Whether you agree with us, disagree with us, we want to hear from you. But just don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, Facebook, wherever you use, we are available on all social media platforms. Follow us at Cris Style Mal. We will follow you back. We're just some regular guys who like to talk sports, music, movies, and all kinds of various other things. If you have critiques or feedback, or if you have a question or topic, and we like to say question or topic, we will bring it up. We will shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up via DM emails for our mentions. All right, good people. Until next week, I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. We'll be back to cover what's going on over the weekend, sports, pop culture, music, whatever. We will be here to cover it all, and we'll be back next Monday. So y'all be safe out there. Be cool. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Juneteenth to all my black people out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So shout out to all y'all, man. Until Monday, we are gone.
Have a good weekend, y'all.